Hiya, my name is Elle and welcome to my channel, which is all about sewing. Today I'm going to be doing a video that's part of the Friday Sews hashtag, which I've seen a couple of other sewing YouTubers do. So I thought I'd just join in, and I think, as far as I'm aware, the Friday Sews hashtag is just a way to find videos and for us YouTubers to talk about all things sewing that have happened in our week, I think. But I might be wrong. But anyway, hashtag Friday Sews. So today I'm actually going to talk about my plans for the Frugal Frocks challenge. So many other sewing YouTubers have talked about this, so you might be bored of hearing it, or you might be like super invested. I hope it's the latter. In a nutshell, the challenge is run by the Yorkshire Sew Girl and Frugalissima. So you have to make a dress using a free pattern and some fabric from your stash. And you have to show your dress on the 31st of March on Instagram. Whew, done. Now, for my plans. Just to let you know, I am wearing a Bertha cardigan by Tilly and the Buttons, which I made yesterday using Ponte Roma from BST Fabrics, which I spoke about in my fabric haul, in the colour Rust. I think it's £5.99 a metre. It's super slouchy, super comfortable, really easy to sew. I cut it and sewed it in about 2 hours total last night, so I would really recommend. I don't know if it's meant for a fabric like this. It's more obviously meant for like rib knits and wool knits, but I quite like it. Anyway, moving on. Hi, Jeff. Moving on to my plans for my Frugal Frocks challenge dress. So I've done a lot of research about this, about what free pattern to use. I went on to, first of all, come on, Eleanor. First of all, I went onto Peppermint magazine because they have so many free patterns and they are super nice. And I wanted to make the Bardon dress. I thought it would be really nice for summer. But then I thought, I really don't want to print anything. I think printing does cost a lot of money. I've only recently got a printer and the ink cost me loads. And the paper and everything. And so for this Frugal challenge, I wanted to try... Jeff, what are you doing? So he's playing with the mouse. For this Frugal challenge, I wanted to try and be as frugal as possible. So I didn't want to print anything. So then I thought, okay, well, I buy the Love Sewing magazine, and that does come with some free patterns. I know it's not technically free because obviously I've bought the magazine, but this is what he's doing. Okay, go over there. I know there is an upfront cost obviously with buying the magazine, but these patterns have been in my cupboard since I bought the magazine, so I just thought maybe that's a good chance to use them. A pattern that I got from last month's Love Sewing magazine is the B6657 Butterick. I really like this version with the puff sleeves and like the under boob seam. The only thing with this is it does have an invisible zip, and I'm just like, do I really want to do that? But I really think it's beautiful. Now it says that it needs chalice, crepe, rayon, double georgette. That's it. And then it says something about with nap and without nap. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm sure someone will tell me. So that's an option. Another option which I love, I just wanted to show you because I kind of ruled this one out already, is the Juliet dress, which I got from Simply Sewing magazine months and months and months ago. And I think this is really pretty, but the only reason I like it so much is because it's covered in that like mesh sheer net lace overlay thing. And with the Frugal Frocks challenge, you have to sew with things you have in your stash, and I definitely don't have any netting or sheer fabric in my stash, so I can't make this, but I just wanted to show you because isn't it really nice? And can someone tell me if netting is really hard to sew with, and will I fail? Thank you. And then my last one from a magazine was this, I don't know what magazine it was from, but it's Thread Count Patterns, so probably Love Sewing. And it's the 3-in-1 capsule wardrobe, and I just thought this dress could be quite a simple dress to make. But as you can see on like the line drawing. There's no, I don't think there's any darts, and I don't suit shift dresses that just go straight the way down. I've got quite big hips, and I don't think it's very flattering on me, so that's my only concern with this one. So then I thought, okay, well, what about if I don't use a pattern? If you watched my video about everything I made in January, you'd know that I used the DIY Daisy tutorial of her Maya ruffle dress, which is a dress just made out of rectangles. And I kind of screwed it up a little bit, and I said I was going to make it again. So I thought maybe I'd use this opportunity to try and make it again. It's really simple, yet I still screwed it up. And it is just made out of rectangles, and it's got the, I'm going to show you what it's to look like. So maybe I could make that. And then my final option was to make another no pattern dress, but in order to not have to get a really good fit and figure out all the dart placement, is just make a dress with like a gathered waist, so just a big skirt and a sheared bodice and some puff sleeves, because then I wouldn't need a pattern. So that is an option, but more pressing and more tricky is the fact that I don't have a lot of fabric. I know you're looking behind me like, what is she on about? She's got loads of fabric. I do, but most of these actually are like not offcuts, but if I bought 3 meters of fabric and I've used like 2 meters on something, then like that's a meter, that's a meter, that's a meter. The ones at the top are for shirts that I already have planned. But yeah, for example, these, a couple of these are for active wear, and then the rest of them are like offcuts. So I don't really have any fabric that's a big enough quantity to make a dress, so I am struggling a little bit. But then I remembered I have this. I bought this fabric when I first started sewing, and I was a naive little seamstress who thought that it would be fun to sew with chiffon. No. So I bought this fabric and another chiffon from Pound Fabrics, and I made a welder gown, which I'll show you. And it was probably just like the worst day of my life, because that is such an exaggeration, Elle, don't say that. I take that back. Obviously, that was just me being dramatic. If you didn't already know, my other profession is I'm an actor, so explains a lot. I really struggled with the chiffon. Like, it was so hard. I couldn't press it. Like, it was so fiddly. It was so slippy. Like, I was like, no. So I swore to myself I would never sew with chiffon again. Am I saying it right? Chiffon? Chiffon. It sounds like my dad's girlfriend's name, Siobhan. Anyway. So I also at the same time bought this, and I'm just thinking there's like 3 or 4 meters in here. I could use this to make a dress and just try and get over my fear of this fabric. But then I wonder what pattern I could use with it. I'm assuming I could make the Maya ruffle dress from DIY Daisy out of this if it's just rectangles and with some gathers. Is that going to be hard and fiddly to do? I would like your advice on this, please, and what I could sew with it. A much easier option is this gorgeous viscose fabric that I bought from Rainbow Fabrics last month, and it is a very similar fabric to the DIY Daisy Maya ruffle dress fabric that I used. So this would be quite easy, and it is beautiful. This pattern that says Chalice Crepe Rayon Double Georgette, could I also use viscose? Because it seems to me that they would go quite nicely together. Helpful thoughts below, please. And then finally, I just thought, okay, if I don't use those two, I'm going to have to like mix fabrics together from my stash to make a bigger load of fabric. So I have like a meter of this like very thin, like cotton denim-y fabric. And then I have some orange cotton. Could those go together? I could do the bodice in the orange and the sleeves in the denim and do a layered patchwork thing. Maybe that could work. I have some other fabrics on the side that I could also mesh together. It's a tricky one and I'd love to hear your thoughts. So they are my kind of brainstorming ideas. Any help below would be fabulous. I will see how it goes uploading videos on a Friday. Maybe I'll move back to a Sunday, but for today I am committed to the Friday sews, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching.